Welcome back. I'm Mugo Odigwe. These are your top stories this hour. A major breakthrough in the Middle East. Israel and Hamas are expected to sign a deal today to end the war in Gaza. President Trump says it will be the first phase of a ceasefire. Dozens of hostages are set to return home after 2 years of conflict. And the battle over National Guard troops intensifies today. About 500 troops from Texas are currently in the Chicago area. And now a judge weighs whether to grant a motion for a temporary restraining order to keep troops out of the city. It follows a late-night filing from the Trump administration justifying the deployment. Plus, the government shutdown continues today and happening any moment now. Senate lawmakers, they will vote on the federal funding bill once again, and they face mounting pressure to keep the lights on as airports come to a near halt across the country. We have all of that coming up throughout the day. The last of 10 inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail has now been recaptured. Inmate Derrick Groves was arrested in Atlanta yesterday, and he just appeared in court in Fulton County, Georgia. Groves has been convicted of murder and was considered one of the most dangerous of the group that escaped. Here are local officials yesterday after confirming the recapture.
I think across the board, whether you are a reporter or whether you are in law enforcement, or whether you lived in the neighborhood where he wreaked havoc, or whether you were a witness who was brave enough to come forward and testify against him, everybody is sighing a collective sigh of relief.
CBS News national reporter Kati Weiss is live in New Orleans for us today. Katie, good to see you. How were authorities able to finally track Derrick Groves down?
Well, you know, this saga began back in May with a very dramatic start with those 10 inmates escaping through a hole in the wall that they carved out behind a toilet that they had ripped from that wall. And then they fled across the interstate here in New Orleans to freedom. After that, a few inmates were captured within weeks. But Derrick Groves remained on the run all these months throughout the summer. And this whole saga ended quite as dramatically. It all began with a tip from the public after police rolled out a new initiative to again remind the public that they needed their help to capture this fugitive. And then they went to this Atlanta home. And at first they didn't think that he was in there. They didn't see any movement, but they used gas canisters to try to see if maybe perhaps someone was hiding. And sure enough, thanks to the help of canine officers, they were able to find Groves hiding in the crawl space of the home. And this is the very interesting cherry on top of all of this, the audacity that he had, the confidence that he had. He even blew a kiss and smiled to the cameras on his way out as he was being taken away in cuffs. But remember, he is convicted of 2 counts of murder. He was going to be living a life sentence, serving a life sentence. So one thing that officials said in the press conference last night is that really the victims of his crimes are grateful that he's back behind bars.
Yeah, very bold there. He did not seem fazed when he was arrested. But then you also have to ask, even just from the beginning of this case, for all those inmates to escape and then for Derrick Groves to have been able to hide out all these months, you have to wonder there's someone else who helped him. So any possibilities that other people will face charges in this case?
Absolutely. That's something that authorities are really piecing together today and will be continuing to work on. There has been an investigation ongoing since May into other potential jail employees who may have helped these inmates escape. The sheriff has said there's no way that they could have escaped without help. You might remember one jail plumber has already been arrested, but the sheriff is convinced that more of her employees may be responsible, but yet we have not quite seen charges on that. And in addition, they're also asking the public for help if you were afraid of coming forward with tips before because these men were still at large, now to come forward if you know something as to how they were able to get out, to go across state lines, to stay at large for so long, to please let authorities know because they want to track down any people who helped aid and abet Derrick Groves. And right now, as you mentioned, he is going to be appearing in court. He He's going to have an option of whether or not to waive extradition. And once he gets extradited back to Louisiana, he will be sent to Angola State Prison, which you might remember recently made headlines as also becoming the new site for the alligator Alcatraz.
Kati Weiss, thank you so much. You've been following the story from the very beginning. Appreciate your time today.